Yes, guys, welcome back to the Once You're In podcast. It appears that we've matched our colour scheme today, mate. I
Okay.
didn't actually realise until I
Yeah.
just started.
Mate, I think our brains are worked. Like, I did not think that at all until you said that, and I was like, oh, we look like we're wearing the same top.
Mocha? Is yours a
Hmm?
mocha?
I
Mocha?
what can I don't know. Some washed.
Mine's called mocha.
Yeah. No, this is like, I think it's like a washed, like, grey, I think it's called. I'm not sure.
Mine's a limited edition mocha.
Mine's a
Not sure.
Stay Golden from Wesley Vissers.
I'm never going to make another one of these.
You know.
No, legit. This is going to be the one mocha one that I'm going to. Well, when I'm like 80, I'm going to keep it. It's going to be framed and I'm like, oh, back in my day, I used to be a natural physique coach.
You'll be kicking at 80 years old. Like,
I'll be sad. I'm immortal. I won't even be like, ugh. I'll be like, yes, guys, welcome back.
welcome to episode like 2000. Reese, obviously, it's been 950 episodes since he passed away.
Read's passed. I've
Yeah.
got somebody else new, somebody better.
We'll have at this point we'll probably have AI like there'll be me, just an AI.
That's a good question, right? If I died
Mhm.
tomorrow,
Okay.
who would you replace me with on the podcast? Let's say the podcast continued, it had to.
Uh, I wouldn't probably do a podcast. I feel like it would just be like, shame, sorry guys.
No, but let's say you've got to.
I think the most similar would probably be like Josh Croggan, I'd say, but I don't think he stretch his services from.
Mate, he'd leave straight away.
He would do. If I was like, hey mate, do you want to replace Finn? He'd be like, yes, I'm there. Doesn't matter when, I'll be there.
Forget who's Tom.
Yeah, who would you replace me with, mate? If I passed away in my sleep, which I mean, there's probably like a 5% chance every time I go to sleep that could happen.
Probably Jack Eagles, to be fair.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I feel like you can't just be all natural.
It
Like,
works well. I
yeah.
think. I think a lot of people like it because we do have like. Obviously, we'll. I mean, it's all the same at the end of the day, isn't it? Like, it's not like it's two massively different communities,
No,
but it
but
kind of is.
no, I do feel like there is like if it's like a podcast just full of like gearheads, you're just like, ugh. And then if it's a podcast full of natties, it's like, I feel
Yeah,
like it's quite a good dynamic. I mean, I guess I hope people might be listening to this thing and nah, guys, fuck off,
yeah.
Reese,
Shut the fuck up. This is shit.
please
Turned
don't
it off already.
Jack or Finn. Come on, Josh Croggan will be way better. So yeah. Anyway, today I'm going to say what Finn says. It's a classic Q&A, guys. Yeah, classic Q&A based off the fact that we didn't actually know we were doing a podcast till about
Well,
four.
we do Mondays and Thursdays.
Yeah, we do.
It's just because obviously with Christmas and New Year and stuff that got like skewed a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, you got anything to update us on?
No, all is good. To be fair, I got my knee injection on Wednesday, which I'm eager and
Yeah.
excited.
What happened? You were supposed to go and get it done.
Yeah, did I not mention it? I don't think I did.
You might have done.
I went. The guy was like, mate, he was very very rude. It was 8:15 p.m., which funnily enough, it was in the same place that I got my dermatologist appointment, also at 8:15 p.m.
I remember you saying.
Yeah, it was the exact same time, and I was like, it's really weird. I was thinking, like, I wonder if I see the same dude. We've just got one guy who just pretends to know it all. And he said to me initially, he was like, okay, cool, let's assess the knee. Do a split squat. And I was like, mate, I can't walk, let alone do a split squat. And he was like, yeah, do a Bulgarian split squat. And I was like, I will fall over, mate. Like, I can't brace through it. And then I showed him the scan reports, and he was like, oh, okay. And then he like played around with my knee because it's within the knee itself, like it's underneath like my pretty much like my patella slash like like your what's the floating bone? Your patella. Yeah, it's underneath like the patella, and then obviously the patella tendon.
Yeah.
So he was like, basically, I've got a mixture of like fat pad impingement, which is getting caught because my knee's been like shifted slightly, and then the inside bit is inflamed and like watery, and therefore he couldn't do the injection on the day because if he gets the wrong place, it won't really do anything. So he has to do like an ultrasound injection, which I think you like look into it like
Yeah, and you know where you need to inject.
yeah, exactly. Which is again more money, which is crazy. I got the invoice. This is actually quite funny. I got the invoice Friday night at like 8 p.m. and I hadn't paid myself from my business account. And he called me 6 times on Monday. I knew the number and I was like, bro, I've not even paid myself. And he sent it through. And the invoice says pay within 30 days. So I was like, oh, sound, I'll just pay it like when I pay myself. And he called me 6 times on Monday and I was like, I'm not answering. And then on Tuesday, he called me 3 times by 11 a.m. and I was like, right, I've got to pay him. Clearly he needs his money. It was like, I was getting, it was,
Yeah, but I'd be like, you haven't even done anything yet.
yeah, no, he hadn't done anything. So, no, because you have to pay for the consult and then
How much was it?
the consult was 250, and that's just to literally pass you on. All he did was act like I don't know anything about my knee, and I was like, I kind of know. I don't want to be cocky because obviously you're well versed within the line of the human body. Like I've not got a doctor's like degree, but additionally. I know enough about it to be like, mate, I can't do a split squat.
Yeah. Well, you know how your body feels, don't you?
Yeah, exactly. And also, I'm not like an idiot. So, yeah, it was a bit of a weird meeting, but he passed me on to get this knee injection thingy, which is Wednesday. So, hopefully, that can go within the area. Bit of a weird one, though, because you're not supposed to. When it happens, you're not legally insured to drive, and you basically get told not to move for 2 days. So, I've got to take like a few days off. And then I'm going to Madrid on Monday, so this time next week. So it's like a bit of an awkward one because like I'd like to go away and be like, I can probably have like 2 days off, but because I had 2 days off this week, I'll probably train when I'm out there, which I was going to anyway. But like before a holiday, if it got done last week, which I hoped it would have been, or when I went there 2 weeks ago, I would have been like, oh, sound, it'll be a few days, then I can have a good couple of weeks of training, then I can go away. But it's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Like I've waited enough time now, so hopefully this can fix it. But I don't know, we'll see.
Not good, mate.
Nah, not good. So yeah, that's that. But otherwise, mate.
How's your occluded leg training been going though?
Strange, really strange. So I spoke to Matt Barmer. Do you know Matt Barmer, built by Barmer? And he came up to me and we were speaking about like occlusion training, and I was like, oh, I actually haven't thought about that. Thanks, mate. I'll give it a go. And it was really strange. The first session, I feel like I had zero ability to like do any. So I pretty much in my head I was like, right, well, how can I maximize blood flow? So I like did loads of salt, L-carnitine, fast acting insulin, literally like 150 grams of jam, and like I literally just had like as much low volume, high calorie or high carb / other things that will enhance blood flow, and like 3 scoops of mega pump. And
You are going to die soon,
no, mate. What's the only bad thing there is literally going to be which is
Most of it. The only bad thing there is like all the salt and all the jam.
yeah, my blood pressure was through the roof for the rest of the day. But in my head, I was like, right, I'm just going to try and get as much blood flow to my legs. And it was like they just wouldn't even connect. I couldn't even connect my, like, when you go on a leg extension, you quads fire.
It's pure gym. The kit shit. It won't help, for sure.
Yeah, maybe. It was honestly one of those where I had no ability to connect with a muscle. It was like I was going through the motions, and it wasn't until the next day where I was like, oh, I actually did something. Because I was doing, like, I did like 3 sets of 30, ham curl, leg extension, leg press, and then I did body weight or like the hack with no weight with like 5-second eccentrics and just sets of 10. And it was probably like a good amount of workload, but I was getting zero pump, no feel. I was looking at my legs like, they're not even switching on, they're doing nothing here. And then the next day I was like, oh, my legs are really sore. And the next day I was like, oh, my legs are really, really sore.
Yeah, they're going to be. You've not done anything on them for ages.
Yeah, it was like the ability to, like, the door to open up to, like, send blood there just wasn't there. And then I did the same session 2 days ago, Saturday, and I actually got, like, a pretty decent pump where I was like, oh, I can actually feel my legs contracting. But I was, like, doing a leg press, touching my quads, and I was like, there's nothing here. Like, I'm not doing nothing. Like, it was like there was zero activation. So, yeah, it was better. I had a girl come up to me and she was like, your legs are amazing. What do you do? And I was like, don't train them for 6 months. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm injured. My legs, they look shit. And she was like, no, they look great. And I'm like, no, they look awful. And then she just walked off because she probably was like, what's his problem?
Fuck off, my legs aren't good.
Yeah, like, I don't think, again, like, it's all about perception because, like, my legs are way more jacked now than they were 4 or 5 years ago or 5-6 years ago when we trained there. But, like, in my head, I'm like, I look awful. Like, I'm pulling this because the occlusion bands pull your shorts up. I'm like standing and I'm like, no, look at me, don't look at my legs, don't look at my legs. And even though my legs to the average person are probably like, oh, they're really good, to me I'm like, they're shit, don't look at me. So when I got a compliment on them, I was like, no, they're not, do not compliment me. Fuck off. I was like, do not. And to be fair, that's how I talk to girls anyway. I've got no social skills.
She just walked over and you just scream at her.
Yeah, I'm like,
got a girlfriend.
Got a girlfriend. She's like, I was just saying your legs are good. And I was like,
leave me alone.
I'm gay. And I was like, oh no. So yeah, that's that. But yeah, otherwise, that's that. Anything in your life, mate?
Anything? Just busy with the coaching side of things, which is good. Got the meet up this weekend, which you're coming to, aren't you? The reason I want you to come is because what we're going to actually do is we're going to put you on a fire, on a big cross, and we're all going to throw like spears at you and like all that kind of stuff because you're not natty. So all the natural physique coaching clients are going to be like boo and like throwing stuff at you.
I'm going to be lynched.
Yeah, and Sanaya as well. Jakub, because it's a B modified, him as well. Anybody in the gym who we think might be on gear, we're going to just fucking pummel them.
How many people are coming, do you reckon?
I don't know. I'm actually going to put a message in the group chat because we're like launching the Natural Physique Hub, which I've just been showing Reese, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
But I'm going to put a message in after that, or maybe tomorrow, because I don't want to bombard people. But I'm going to maybe ask tomorrow, like, right, who's actually coming? Because when you put the announcement out, obviously some people are like, I need to check if I can get it off work. Most people are like, yeah, I'm coming, like buzzing. But then also some people are like, oh, I actually can't get it off, or it's a bit far, or whatever. So
How many people do you reckon are going to be there? Like, if you were to take a guess,
50-ish, maybe more.
that'd be sick. That'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
I think because what we've said as well is like if, for example, like somebody, there's some people who are traveling miles. Like we've said,
Yeah,
like if you want to bring like friends or family, like you can do. You know, like
yeah,
you don't have to just, you know what I mean. I don't want people thinking like, no, it's just if you're not coached by us,
yeah,
you can't come. Like if you've got a mate who wants to come, like I was saying to you, one of my clients has a friend who's thinking about inquiring with you. So he asked if you're going to be there, and I was like, yeah, I think so. Like so that kind of thing. Like people who we've said, like anybody who's interested in natural bodybuilding, anybody who thinks they might want to be part of the team and wants to see what it's like, come along, see what it's like. Like I think it would be pretty cool to do that.
yeah, definitely.
But you won't get the freebies that the clients are getting.
Yeah. Think about like if we were like I don't know if AJ had done like a
Mate, I'd have been buzzing.
moderate
Yeah,
meet where you can train with him like back in the day when we were getting into it, we'd 100% be
a
going.
hundred
We'd be
percent.
like, yeah, sick, let's go, let's go. If it
Exactly.
was like AJ, probably George Osborne, Jack Richardson, like his
Yeah,
little.
mate. It's like a if before I was coached by AJ, if he'd have put something out there and said like, right, guys, it's like a made by Morris meetup day, but anybody who's maybe thinking about it
Made by
or
Morris. Was it made by? Was it Bill? Was it made by
mate,
Morris?
it's still made by Morris.
Is that what he's called? Really?
Team MBM
Oh yeah,
made by Morris,
yeah, fair enough.
but he just doesn't really promote it, does he?
Yeah, he doesn't. You don't really hear that. That's crazy.
No. But yeah, like I would be like 100%, mate. I'd be buzzing with that.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's going to be good. I say 50. That's, I mean, it depends. Like
yeah.
I would
I've
say
got,
maybe 50 of our clients, and then plus like friends and family and stuff. So
yeah.
it'll be good.
I've got a meet up on the 2nd of Feb, and like in the group chat, there's like 48, and I've had like, and there's a lot of people that bring in plus twos, and like I added someone today, and they were like, oh my god, like so many people. I'm like, mate, this many people, like people love to say they will, and then on the day there's issues, and also at the same time, like random people just pop up. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I did like a mini meetup at BMod for like prep clients, I put it in the group chat like literally the night before, and I had someone drive 4 hours, and I was like, the fuck are you doing there, bro? I've actually I think I've got Aaron McGuigan. If he bails, then I'm calling him out. But he's flying in from Ireland to
I've got a few people flying over. It's cool, isn't it?
like, I said to him, I was like, mate, you're more than welcome to stay here, bro. Like if you're flying in, I'm not expecting you to like get an Airbnb and stay.
Yeah.
You can stay with me, it's fine. So yeah, that'll be cool. So yeah, I'll be there, mate, Saturday, which will be cool. What time have you said to everybody? Just because I'll probably train before.
Midday. I'm training before. We'll be there before, so just come in the morning.
Yeah, I'll train like I don't know morning sort of time,
Yeah.
and then I think Liverpool play at 3. So if it's sound, I'll stay. If it's not, I'll just shoot off at like 2ish. But I don't know. You going for food afterwards or anything like that?
Yeah, the plan is like go to Derby and just like because obviously there's like a food hall, isn't there? So like just grab what you want because there's loads of different food places, and then go to like the arcades bit. And like if some people want to do bowling, you can. If you want to do mini golf, you can. Like it's got everything there. So
Yeah,
yeah, it'd be good.
that's sound. Right, cool. Let's get into the questions, mate. Exciting times ahead for both of us. Got a fair few to be fair. Favorite ever pair of football boots you've owned? Great question. Great start. This is a unique sort of question. What's your favorite, mate?
So these aren't my favourite, but do you remember the F50s?
Yeah, I had a pair of them.
So
You remember
watching the
the
football yesterday,
do
I think Martinez had some like pink F50s on or something,
okay, yeah,
and like one of my mates was like, "Oh my god, he's got F50s on." They'd completely been erased from my memory.
yeah.
I had some like silver I think I had F30s or something because like they were cheaper.
Yeah, I used to clown on people. I had a pair of F50s blue, and like if anyone had F30s, I'd be like, "Fuck are those F30s, bro?"
I think I had F30s
Yeah,
because like my mum and dad would only buy me boots from like
yeah.
Sports Direct, and they didn't have the F50s or something. So yeah, F30s they were probably like,
What was the difference between F30s and 50s? Wasn't it the tongue? I'm pretty
Nah,
sure.
mate, I don't think it was anything. I think it was literally just like they're just cheaper.
They were a bit lighter or whatever. Yeah. I had a pair of blue F50s. I then had a pair of custom Mercurials, like green and purple, and yeah, I can't remember what I had. And that was the customizable ones. I had RP7. I didn't do that. I was tempted though. And I'd say my favourite pair were the black and red Adidas Predators. You know the Steven Gerrard ones.
I never really liked those.
No, I didn't, but
It
I
was
love
because of the players that wore them,
I
like
love
Gerrard.
Stevie
So
G, yeah, so I was like, I'm Steven Gerrard. Like, literally, I remember being, do you remember? Oh, you would know. On the way to the gym, the shed at my old house, my mum's house, or Derek's house. The like outdoor area, like, you know, where it's like just like concrete. I would play in my Predators there, like clacking about, just and scream Gerard and just shoot the ball down like the down the arch, and then literally on concrete, just because I was like, yeah, these are fucking cool boots. Like trying them out, not going to the park because I was like, the park's like a 5 minute walk. Fuck that, I'll just shoot in my garden.
I used to like wear them in around the house, just walking around. Like,
Like, I was a horse walking around.
I'd say, to be fair, like F50s were cool, but I'd say Nike Tiempos. I
Oh,
felt like I played my best in those. I don't know, they had like some certain cushion.
yeah.
Nike CTRs, Rooney.
I don't know what CTRs are.
Oh mate, have a go on your phone, put in Nike CTR.
What was the R9 boots? You know, were they that was
I
90.
don't know. Put in Nike CTR. The R9, I feel like were just they're not Tempos, but they were just like the classic Nike ones. I can't remember what they were
Nike
called.
R9. It was the gold ones, wasn't it? R9 boots. What were they? Was it Vapors? Mercurials?
I don't think they were Mercurials.
No. Yeah, he had like a pair of like silver and gold ones. I'm pretty sure.
Sorry for anybody who just does not care about
Yeah,
football.
sorry, Beth. If you still watch us, sorry about that. Right, Finn, make him a bodybuilding question, bro. Go for it.
Um, this is actually quite a good question. How to make steps more enjoyable, specifically when they get high on prep?
Okay. I actually think steps in prep are quite a lot easier because it's like you're doing them for a reason and there's a bit of purpose. I find like it's very easy in the off season to be a bit like slack and just be like, ugh, like I'm 1,000 steps off. It's not going to be the end of the world. But also steps don't really have as much of a purpose. Like I think a lot of people have like step goals and like we've always been like this. My average steps will be similar year round, depending obviously the phase. But in an off season, it's more so based off appetite, routine, and just general digestion and what actually makes me feel
Yeah.
good. Like
My
I
steps
think,
have come
yeah,
down a lot since I've been living here.
yeah. But I guarantee that's just based off your routine. But that's not like you've been lazy and you're like, oh, I'm
I
gonna.
actually feel really good for it. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
literally go on a small walk in the
yeah,
morning, I go on a small walk in the evening,
yeah,
and my steps
exactly.
end up being about 6 to 8k. Whereas before I was like, not I have to get
No,
10k, but like I was in a routine where I would get 10k.
yeah. It's
Whereas
all.
now it's like, yeah, it's nice.
And
But
then
yeah,
I
it's
feel
go
like steps for like in a prep based setting or a diet based setting or like making them enjoyable. It's just again, they shouldn't really be something you should be stupidly enjoying, but it's just make it part of your routine. Get them done early. If you get to the end of the day and it's 7, 8 p.m. and it's dark outside and you've got 1,000 steps to do, you'll do it. But if you've got 5,000 steps to do, that like dread's going to be there and you're going to be like, oh, I don't want to do it. So get them done early. Put a podcast on. I used to in my first prep do a walk to a tree. So I'd walk there, getting back to WhatsApps, and then I'd walk back and I'd listen to a podcast. So that was like my reward. I was like, right, grind at the start. The second I get to that tree, podcast, I can switch off. My second prep was a bit different because I had a walking pad. 'Cause I didn't really have time to do steps, and I'd have to do check-ins. So like doing them on a walking pad could be an option. But I would literally just split them up. Do a lot in the morning. Get out, get out. Most people wake up and what do? They go on their phone immediately for 10 minutes in bed. Just do that outside on a walk. Do it outside. Go through social media. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. Then when it comes to like when you get to the gym, 10 minutes before you get into the session. When you finish up, you probably got again messages, stuff on socials to check. Cool. Do 5 minutes. Go for a walk in the evening. I guarantee you probably clocked up 8 to 10k there without even really trying. And then if it gets higher, sound just do a bit more. Like literally set yourself goals and set yourself targets and get into YouTube videos or podcasts and you'll be cool. But it has a purpose. Like there's it's not a bad thing, and I wouldn't want to be like. I would much rather do steps in a prep than maybe in an off season because it's like it's for a purpose. I'm like, right, if I nail these steps, I'm going to be like this tomorrow. I'm going to feel better. I'm going to look better. All that sort of stuff. So yeah, I would say steps. Like you probably agree. Like steps, unless you're like really like mega lean, I don't think it's a chore. Like it's just getting them done. You know.
No, I think there's ways you can make it more enjoyable. Like I've not done this, but Noah was literally speaking about in his prep. He just played Pokemon Go when he was doing steps. So like for a lot of people, like something like that, like
Yeah.
yeah, literally do something like that. Like for me, like I literally just did so much work when I was doing steps.
Yeah.
Like it was, I'd do steps on my walking pad in the morning, and I'd like prep 2 Instagram posts for the day. I'd be getting back to all my clients' messages. Like
Yeah.
again, like I've said it loads of times before. Like literally during prep by like 7 a.m. there was times where I'd done like 10k steps, and I'd like prepped all my check-ins for the day because I'd been up at like 4:30, prepped all my check-ins, got back to all training clips, made 2 Instagram posts, and it's like 7 a.m. Like it wasn't healthy at all. Like,
No.
but I felt amazing for a short period of time doing that. Like it was like, oh my god, I feel
No,
so
you get
good.
like such a serotonin boost. Like I get
Yeah,
prep where I get to like 11 a.m. and I've done like 4 hours on a treadmill, an hour cardio. Like so, treadmill would be steps. I've probably done like 16k steps. I've done all my work for the day because I've been on the trucking treadmill since 6, 7 a.m. And I'd be like, okay, cool. What do I do for the rest of the day? Like,
yeah.
I
That's what
feel
the issue
awesome,
is. Like
but
I'd
then
get done early, then
yeah,
I'd go train, and then I'd come back and I'd just not move. You know what I mean? Like I'd finish off my steps, and then from like 4 p.m. it was like, oh, I get to just not move for 4 hours,
Yeah.
and like I'd just sit from 4 till 8 and then go to bed.
Yeah.
It's like I
That's
should have
not,
just
that's
I'd
not
have been
good.
better off like shifting it. Like yeah. So anyway, I found shopping was helpful. Like, and you didn't have to buy anything, but like just go shopping. Like, go to a shopping centre or go to Tesco and do some steps around Tesco. Like, it used to be more fun walking around Tesco doing 1,000 steps if I had 1,000 to do at night, rather
Yeah.
than just walking around the block. You know, like little things like that. If you like, my Tesco was really close.
Yeah.
But yeah, like go to a shop. Go on a nice walk. Don't just walk the same
Oh,
block. Like actually drive somewhere and go on a really nice walk for 2 hours at the weekend, and before you know it, it's like, oh, my steps are done. You've driven somewhere on a weekend and done a nice walk in the morning. You've still got all day where you can then just chill out, or you don't have to be thinking about doing steps. I think when people are like, oh, my steps are like 15K, they're like, I don't want to spend all day doing steps. It's like, if you, let's say, on a morning, got up at like, let's say 7 on the weekend, drove somewhere really nice as the sun's coming up, went and did steps for went on a nice walk for 2 and a bit hours. You pretty much, by the end of the day, you won't even have to think about doing any more steps. You'll be done. Because you're walking around the house, making some food, you'll be done. So yeah, do it early as well, like we said, because generally your natural energy is going to be higher.
yep. Right. For unlimited money in life, would you be cream pied every time you eat a meal? Such a
What are we classing as cream pie?
well, I'm gonna. What would you? You have to eat cream pie. You have to eat cream pie.
I
Yeah.
was thinking like pie to the face. I was
I was thinking. I was thinking being ejaculated in, like, preferably your mouth, Uranus, depending on where things are.
I think it's Uranus, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking anus. Yeah,
For unlimited money.
100% wouldn't even think about it, bro. Do 2 cream pies.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't like.
What's the process? Like, is it basically you have to get shagged? Because, like, if it's just, oh no, I've got jizz in my arse, it's a bit different than, oh no, I now have to have sex with somebody and they have to have their way with my bottom.
5 times a day. Well, you just have one meal a day, wouldn't you? Have a massive meal a day.
I feel like unlimited money gets to a point where you're like, this ain't worth it.
I wouldn't be bothered. Yeah, like
Yeah.
your life wouldn't be that much better for having unlimited money. Like it really wouldn't. Like you'd get used to it as well. Like it's not as if every day with unlimited money you're going to do these amazing things that's worth getting fucked in the ass every day.
Oh, it'd be worth it for like a month when you're like, I could do this, but you realise you've only
I
got
don't think it
24
would.
hours.
Would that be worth it for like 3 to 5 days?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, I've just flown on a private jet this place and I've bought a yacht and like.
No, but you just, after about a week, I reckon you'd just be like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. For a few days, it'd be cool. You'll
Yeah.
have spent loads of money on stuff, and it's like, all right, you got a nice house, and then it's like, my heart is hurting.
Exactly, man. Yeah, awful. Right, your question, mate.
This one's actually horrible. Like this one, I want you to answer this. I'm not answering this.
Okay.
Fuck, marry, kill the other 3 natural physique coaches.
Ah,
I say it's horrible as if it's really serious. Like, I can't answer this. It's too horrible.
I'd say, it's weird. I'd definitely fuck Matt. Matt would 100% be the one I fuck. Without a question, Matt, you're literally the number one. And then, like, marry and kill, it's a challenging one because I think Josh would annoy me more, but I like Josh. I'm not saying I like Noah. I think Noah's easier to be with, but I think Josh would be pretty cool if we were.
You've spent more time with Josh, haven't you? Though?
Yeah, I think, but that's just based off experience. But I think Josh would annoy me, and that's nothing bad about Josh. I think Josh would just annoy me if I was living with him. But I'd say Noah would be a little bit easier, and also, like, you could squint and he's got longer hair, so you'd be like, hey, if you squint.
Mate, Noah's looking fit as fuck in that launch. I've got a photo of Noah, right? And like the handsome Squidward meme.
Yeah.
He looks like that, but 10 times better.
Yeah.
I'll have to send you the photo.
Okay. I'd say marry Noah, kill Josh. Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, Josh.
But I will say, if it was fuck Josh, mate, I'd throw Josh around, but I would fucking.
I don't know. He's 80 kilos nearly now.
Yeah, but and he's also got a bad stomach, so whenever he gets to 80 kilos, he shits himself. So I don't think that actually would be too much fun. Yeah, that's that. Right. What's the biggest household item you can fit in your mouth? Mate, my question
We need to start doing topical podcasts where we actually educate people again. Because these podcasts, they're not educational at all anymore.
Right, okay. Your dosing of BPC.
No, we're answering it.
Biggest household object you fit in your mouth? You fit your fist?
That's not a household object.
I'm just thinking.
A dartboard.
A You fit a dartboard in your mouth.
Maybe like a coaster. Oh, a mouse.
Fit the whole thing in your mouth?
I'm not going to try it. It's my dad's. That's fucking disgusting.
Okay, fair enough.
Not that I'd do it if it was mine, but I'd be a bit more. I'd be a bit more inclined to do it if I knew it was my germs.
The second we end this podcast, Finn's going to be like, Reece, watch this. She's like, I told you I could do it. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea. Right, educational one. Good. Your dosing of BPC TB500, good results with it. Finn, you know anything about BPC?
I actually got a question saying, would the non-cheat, I'm assuming that means me, ever use peptides? The answer is, well, not if I'm competing naturally. Unless they all of a sudden became, they weren't banned, but they are currently prohibited.
Yeah. Good dosing of both. I really like both. BPC, I think a lot of people say you can use less. In reality, like if you actually look upon it, I'd probably say like a milligram of BPC administered 1 to 2 times a day. That could be split up, but I honestly think if it's less than a milligram daily total, you're probably not going to do a massive amount. TB500, I think it depends on the impact and like the injury itself. If it's like just minor collagen synthesis that you're wanting to improve, probably like again a milligram. But I actually think it's probably dosed a little bit more. Like you want to dose it higher, so probably like I do personally 2.5. Milligrams, which is a good amount of TB500. You go through that pretty quick, but you don't need to dose it daily, and it's also somewhat systemic, so you don't need to pin it local to the area. So do it like every 3 to 4 days. 2.5 milligrams of TB, BPC, 1 milligram like twice a day would be probably what I'd look for. But again, it really depends on like the severity of the injury. If you've like broke your leg or like tore your pec, you're going to need more than if you've got a sore elbow or something. So yeah,
it is crazy to think that. I mean, I get it, but I also think like realistically, they shouldn't be banned. Like,
no, but then also
almost like
if you were to use it from a performance enhancing standpoint, like let's say for example your quad, that I'm not gonna say it's gonna be fixed, but it could be.
no, it would though. Yeah, I imagine it would sort it out.
Yeah, and if you had like tendonitis in your knee, instead of going to Aaron for like let's say get shockwave for 6 weeks, you do a 6-day course of that, you probably will be like, oh, I actually feel a lot better. So it's like it's one of those sort of things where I don't think it should be, but I also think it is quite unfair if you don't have the access to it. But I also don't think like that's like saying, oh, it's unfair because I can afford natural physique coaching.
Or more quality food, or like
exactly,
a gym membership.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like it's one of those sort of things. So yeah, I think it definitely can be used to
Natural physique coach is going to get banned on the
exactly,
prohibited list.
Lee's going to be like, look, you can't. You're bringing too many good overpowered clients.
It's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair. We're banning you. It's just you're just collecting all my overalls. Fuck off. So yeah, you're on, mate.
I haven't got any more.
Oh, have you? Okay, fair enough.
I didn't get many. I only put it on like an hour ago, didn't I?
Ah, fair enough. Rate my second cycle, cutting cycle. Well, already broke your cutting cycle and your second cycle. You fucked it. 300 test, 300 mast, 600 milligram total, 6 second cycle. Quite a good amount. Probably a bit more than you need. And also, like, you're spending time. So if you're basically in a super physiological range of androgens for that period of time, you want to spend it like especially if you're coming off, you want to spend it actually growing muscle, bro. Don't be spending dieting. Like you might recomp a little bit, but you're just going to waste your time. So yeah, don't be doing a cutting cycle. If you're on PDs, when you use higher dosages in a super physiological range, put them into a growth phase, and you'll make far more progress. Location of new gym, Finn. We want to disclose anything?
Have you told many people yet?
Mate, I haven't really mentioned it to anybody other than the few that we mentioned. Why have you told people? You've been telling all your clients?
I told someone today. They did ask, "Is it in?" And I said, "Yeah."
What, in the gym, or was it a client or whatever?
In the gym, but it was somebody we know. I didn't expect him to be in the gym, but he was.
Oh,
I'll tell you after.
Yeah, don't say it because people are going to message him. Yeah, bro. Imagine he wakes up to 100 messages. Bro, where's the gym?
I think people probably can guess pretty.
I had a comment.
Easily.
Comment on the one of the posts, or like I'm going to say maybe he messaged me, and the guy said like the location that he thought it was, and then he replied like, just listen to the podcast, this is defo spot on. And I was like, I just liked the message because I don't know, mate. Like,
Yeah, I had a few people. Like I had one that was like, "Please tell me it's Birmingham." I just liked the message. One that was like, "How close is it to Stoke?" Like the message. One that was like, "Please be south of Derby." Like the message.
Yeah, I've just been liking. I've not been replying. I've just been.
I just thought like, "We'll see."
Yeah, exactly. Birmingham wise, if it was Birmingham, I'm trying to think. Would it be so? What, there's Emporium and Ultimate Fitness, like
Beano's, and there's Apollo not far.
That's Solihull. Yeah, Birmingham's not. the best of areas. Like, I think you could get. I don't think any of those gyms. I think Apollo's really good, but I don't think any of those gyms are like, oh my god, wow. But I also think like the
They're all good.
yeah,
Like,
they're
yeah.
all good enough to the point. Yeah, I'm just thinking like location wise. Obviously, Solihull, that's where that Dino's gym is. Any up and comers you think we'll see take to the Olympia stage in the next 3 to 5 years? Depends on like, what you mean up and comers. Like, who would you say, mate, out of the current flock of athletes?
To the Olympia stage.
There's a bit. I think people probably think that like top end bodybuilding, like you have to be a genetic freak. Like there's going to be a few, but like as well, like you could qualify for the Olympia if you win a fucking shit show and finish 47th in classic physique. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like
I
in my
wouldn't
head,
like Jack Eagles isn't an up and comer, you know what I
no.
mean?
I
Like,
guess Olympia is like you're finishing like top 15, like Niall for example. You know Darwin.
yeah.
Like that's someone who you can look at and go, yeah. Like I don't class if you're finishing like less than 30th, even though you got to Olympia, like you're not really.
I always think like it sounds disrespectful calling someone an up and comer if
Yeah,
they're able to get to the Olympia in 3 to 5 years. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
maybe that Dan Talabi,
yeah, yeah.
like he's got a lot of muscle and like
Mm.
could potentially.
I also think as well, like like you can see the fucking rate of progression. It's sick, but I also think as well, like there's a lot of people going so far on like the side of he's going to win a pro card. Like he's not the best from the back, and he also has never won a show. I know he's only done one show and he wasn't in shape, but like the rate of growth is sick. But I think a lot of pressure's being put on him. And in reality, he's
Yeah, that
never
happens though if you're genetically very
yeah,
good. You
exactly.
get
Mate, he's
pressure.
genetically elite, but I also think as well, like, don't be running before you can fucking like just don't be saying to these guys. I don't think Dan will probably benefit. He might do, I'm not sure, but like, if his expectation is going and winning a pro card the next time he competes, if he does that, fair play, fucking class. I'd love to see that, but I also don't think that's a realistic expectation based
I
on.
don't think, well, I don't know the guy, but I don't think he comes across as somebody who's like, I'm going to do this. I think it's just
No, no, but I also
people
think
saying
like
it because he's big.
yeah, exactly. But I don't think that benefits like many people. Like, give him in 2 years, I think 3 years he'll be a pro. But his next competitive season, based off how he looked last time, based off like even now, like, ridiculously round and bubbly. But like, I don't think he's that good from the rear. If he's as good as from the rear as he is from the side and the front, Jesus Christ! Like, and
When's he next looking to
I think he's
compete?
prepping now, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like again, he's getting into it. Like it's cool to see, and there's always going to be guys who are like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" But I look at Dan and think, like, just give him time, man. Like, there's no need to rush. Could he be at the Olympia stage in 5 years? Yeah, I think he could. But I also
How
don't.
old is he?
24, I think.
He's young.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I reckon he's one. I'd say Eagles, but then Eagles like is not up and coming. Like
Yeah, Jack's like,
yeah,
I'd be surprised if Jack doesn't end up.
yeah.
Maybe not. Well, I'd hope this year, like, but you know what I mean. Like, I'd be surprised if he doesn't in the next 3 to 5.
Yeah, because what you got to think is that they're gonna win a pro card or win a pro card, and they're gonna be winning pro shows. You know, like
Jack could do that though. Jack is
no,
good.
no, Jack, no. I mean Jack.
Yeah, what about the other people? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're looking upon people who are, like, up and coming, like, I find it hard to say Dan because he's not even won a pro show, no, you don't won a fucking show, let alone a pro show, let alone a pro card. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's why it's, like, hard for me to grasp. Like, you almost, in bodybuilding, you have to take it one step at a time. And with Dan, I feel like, could Dan win a pro card? Yeah, I think he could, but I don't think that's going to be, like, in my head, I don't view him as an Olympian until you, like, get to the point. Like, if Jack was to compete this year and get second, third, second, you're like, right, it's a matter of time. Or if he was to win a pro show, you know, Eagles. But until then, you can't really see it. But I can definitely see a few of them being there. But those are the ones that spring to mind. Yeah, sound right. Thoughts on digestive supplements in off season, Finn? What do you reckon? You got digestion walks. Anything else?
To be fair, like, this is probably one of the last things that I would say for a client to utilize to actually help in an off season. Like, there's a lot of avenues that I would go down first before I'm like, oh, you're probably going to need to get some digestive enzymes or something like that. Like, generally, I think most people struggle. Let's say they're just struggling with high food. Like, yeah, a GDA potentially be beneficial with like your really high carb meals, and there's nothing wrong with that. But like, I also think, is it essential, or are you potentially just like making poor food choices, or you're not very active, or you're not doing any cardio, you're not doing any steps? Like, I think unless your food gets to like maybe upward of 800 carb, which for a lot of people it probably doesn't need to get that high, to be honest. Like, yeah, you might have, at certain phases, especially for like, let's say, bodybuilders that are going to be like upwards of 250 to 300 pounds. Like, yeah, your food's probably going to get higher than that. But for most people that I coach, like, your food doesn't need to be 900, 1,000 carbs. Like, it just doesn't. Like, and if it is, you're probably shitting yourself 5 times a day. Like, I think clients that I've got on the clients that I've got on the most food is probably like 850, 900 carb at the minute. And that's like almost an anomaly. Most of my clients peak off season are going to be between maybe 600 to 800 carb. And moderate fats, which would be probably between like 50 and 80, let's say, and then protein at like a baseline, which for depending on size,
20
maybe
grams, 120 grams of protein.
like maybe most people would be around 200 grams, let's say. But yeah, so if you're on that amount of food, you're probably on high 4,000 calories. Yeah, like that's not impossible to get down for most people if you have good meal timings, you have good sleep, you have a good routine, you stay active, you do some cardio, you do some steps, you make good food choices. Like the food that I'm on now, like I think I'm on like 4,500 calories. It feels easy. Like, and again, like that's because I've done it a lot and I've eaten a lot more than that in the past. But like, I literally have 4 meals, like, and they're not like huge. Like my pre-workout meal is literally a packet of rice with some dates and jam, squares bar, dark chocolate, chicken, and it's like it doesn't even touch the sides. You know what I mean? Like it's so easy to get in. Intra workout, you can add carbs easily, and it doesn't really touch the sides. Post workout, like something like cereal or cream of rice, generally like high carb, high GI post workout. Like I think if you're making good choices, you probably don't need a digestive supplement or a GDA. If you are doing everything in your power and your digestion's still not great, yeah, you could maybe use GDAs, but I'd probably just say you're probably like 6 to 12 months into a gaining phase anyway. So just have like a bit of a diet, like an appetite reset or a mini cut, and then just go again.
I'd say most of it is probably fundamentally down to like rushing food in the off season, like putting weight on too quickly, getting too fat. Like there's a lot of things that I think a lot of people do where it's like, oh, my food, this, and in reality it's like probably just not in the best of spots to continue pushing up, or you've got your structure horrendously wrong. Like if we had the same amount of food intake that we do now, but we were 16, like we're waking up at different times, we're going to bed at different times, we're staying up on Snapchat messaging girls, like you know what I mean, like your routine.
Or boys.
Completely off. Or boys, yeah, can't, well, whatever, like
Yeah, or days.
days, yeah, she thems, whatever. And it happens where it's just like, again, I think you get better at managing a routine and like managing stress and that sort of stuff, and also as well, like you get a good understanding regarding foods that like sit well with you. Like when I was probably maybe 5 years into it, I was like, right, these are the foods I eat and these are the foods that digest well. Where like I feel like some people are like, oh, I've got to have this thing because I like it, but every time they have it, like they again, you said, like you shit yourself, or you just are like, oh, I need to have this because it's a bodybuilding sort of food. So yeah, right, a few others. Design a super soldier bodybuilder based off each other teams of clients. I'm going to be honest, I actually don't know enough of Finn's clients, and Finn wouldn't really know enough of mine. So we'll do our clients. Who would you say if we go? Let's go like toe up. So calves. Who's got the best calves on your roster?
Who was it the other day that I thought, Jesus Christ? There was a client and he was training, and I was like,
We're only allowed one of each person because you're not allowed to be like Josh's glutes, Josh's quads.
Josh's quads.
Yeah, to be fair, no, Josh has got good detail. He's got detailed quads.
Yeah, he got detail.
Detail, but
Oh,
no
yeah.
size.
Josh's quad.
Right, calves. I don't know who. I'm gonna say Jakob just because he's in the group chat still. And
Jakob's not even your client. You can't have Jakob.
Yeah, no, he's in the group chat. He's
He's not your client. He doesn't pay you any money.
Yeah, but he asked me loads of questions and stuff.
So.
Yeah, so I do feel like I effectively coach him.
Well, then I'd be charging him, mate. That's not fair.
Free coaching. Jakob's calves. That's what I'm going to go.
I'm looking through my chat 'cause I literally had somebody the other day, and I was like, Jesus. It might have been Vlad.
Come on, Finn.
Oh, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Saeed. El Saeed. He's got good calves.
Okay, Jeff side calves.
Yeah.
Quads. Who said quads? Mine's easy. Jacob Tipper.
I mean, Rio's got very good quads.
Yeah.
Butcher's Wet Dreams right quad is fantastic.
Yeah. Jacob's right quad's fantastic. Left.
Yeah.
Jacob's right.
That's left not great.
Yeah. To be fair, I could have probably took Conran's quads actually. Conran. Will Conran really get on the air? I'm trying to think. Maybe no. Who would you say? Butcher's wet dream then, Matt?
He has got really good quads, but he's got really good side delts.
Come on, we can have a post analysis and change it.
I'm looking
Hamstring.
through my. Oh, mate, Kian.
Okay. What for quads?
Kian Hill's quads. Have you seen them?
No, I haven't.
Mate. Fucking joke.
Fair enough.
I'll send you. I'm going to send you his Instagram now.
Okay.
They're
Hamstring.
literally like ridiculous.
Who's got good hamstrings? Like, I feel like no one's got good hamstrings out of anyone we coach. Like hamstrings is a body part where unless you're peeled, you're like, yeah,
No, like if you think about somebody like hamstrings hanging.
yeah. We can say Aaron Jackson because his side chest is great. He's getting
He's
posed.
signed up for
Posing.
using with Matt.
Yeah. Have you seen his side shots? He's
No.
got real nice hamstring drop. I think it's just because he's like quite lean right now. So that's like, yeah, I'd probably say Aaron when it comes to like side shots and how.
Just sent you Kian's quads if you want to have a look.
Yeah, I think that's Aaron's side leg.
So you're having him for hamstrings, yeah?
I'd probably say so. Yeah, he's the only one that I can think of that's like relatively lean right now. I can think of his hamstrings. Oh, I could have said Aaron McGuigan's quads. I'm going to say Jacob still, but Aaron's legs are good. Yeah, just saw him. I'm not on my chat. I'm not on my WhatsApp, so I'm not trying to like.
I've got my like checking notes up.
Glutes.
Hamstring.
I feel like mine's easy Storm, but like Storm's back's really good as well. So like, but I think glutes has to be Storm. Storm's got the best glutes in the world. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, mate, Brandon G's quads are ridiculous.
Okay, I'm seeing. Mate, you're still on quads, bro. What the fuck?
I've got a lot of clients with good quads.
Oh, mate, yeah, this guy's like, Jesus Christ.
Kian's
What
like,
the fuck are they? Mate, jeez, I'm following him right now. What the fuck are they? Wow, shit.
He's young as well,
Yeah,
mate.
why were they shit on stage, bro? What the fuck? Oh, they're not shit. They're just not as good. He wasn't as lean as well as he could have been. But fucking hell, the outer sweep on, like, yeah, mental.
Brandon G's got really good quads as well.
Yeah.
Hamstrings, I really don't know. Like, I can't. I feel like a lot of my clients have got good hamstrings, but like you say, I can't think of anybody who stands. I mean, Butcher's Wet Dreams got good hamstrings,
Yeah.
but I'm not. I'm gonna have to use him for side delts. I think I can't. His side delts are stupid. Like
Glutes, Josh, for you, surely? You?
Josh's glutes are they're very well detailed. I'd rather have Josh's back. Josh's back's crazy.
You in the off season, mate? Glutes?
Yeah. Not when I'm lean.
Midsection, I'm gonna say Cam Z Fitness. Actually, no. Sorry, Riz. Have you seen Riz? Ryan Terry of abs.
Was it?
Yeah, it's a joke. Like, sorry, Cam. Finn, I'll show you. Look at how even and symmetrical those abs are.
Yeah, they are good.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I literally said, I was like, bro, you got Ryan Terry's midsection. I was like, what the fuck? Like, crazy.
Nathan Bennett abs.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, really, really nice. Back.
I'm trying to think glutes, mate.
Oh, glutes. Trying to think for you. Mate, all your clients are shit from the back, like other than Josh. Matt's shit. Noah, I'm pretty sure will a classic thong. Who else do you have?
To be fair, I could pick Tom Scott for most body parts.
I'm going to speed ahead. Side delt or delts, I'm going to go Finley Roberts, probably. So I'd say for that. Maybe chest for Finley.
I'm going to choose either Ed, because I imagine when Ed gets lean, he'll have good glutes. Because he's pretty strong at hinging.
Yeah.
Ed or JP. Jack Morgan's got pretty good glutes, to be fair.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Back for me, who's
Back, Josh.
Yeah, for you, defo. I'm trying to think who's got a good back for that. Cam Z Fitness has got a good back. I'm going to go with Cam, like for men's physique sort of width and shape. Back's really good. Chest, probably say Finley. Side delts, I'd go Will Matthews. And then arms.
Not had Will Holmes for any of yours.
Oh, fuck, I forgot Will. Will was good with most of those. Fuck. Will, I'm so sorry, bro. Please don't leave.
Back, I'll have Josh. Chest, I'll have Tom Scott.
I'd say
Delts.
back actually. Will's back's a joke. Yeah, I'd say that.
Delts, I'll have Matt. And then
Arms.
arms. Who's got mint arms?
Jack
Me.
Murphy's got the
Can I
best.
have me?
Yeah, you can go for you if you want.
Me.
Think Ali. Jack Murphy's
Oh,
biceps.
the hammer.
Yeah.
The hammer.
Um,
I'll give him the arms.
I'm gonna go Amy's triceps, just because she's got good tries. She's got really good tries. That's such a weird physique.
Anybody got some spare time to put that all together?
Jacob, Noah, please, for Joe this week, please send through a photo of that and see if we can butcher it together.
That'd
Oh,
be
that'd
cool.
be hilarious. Right, mate, I don't know if I should even fucking mention it, to be fair. I got like 7 questions regarding the beef. Do you want me to mention it?
If you want to, mate, I need to get going in a minute, but
Uh, should I? Like, I literally got like 7 questions, and I thought you'd get some because you know how people work. They're like, oh, if I ask Finn,
I know, but I only put mine up like what, literally, I think an
yeah.
hour before we filmed.
Um, do I get any benefit? Is there any point? Not really. I don't know. No, enough people have messaged me. Fuck it. I'll say I'm not going to say anything bad because there's nothing really to say. There was a bit of beef over Instagram over the last day or two, which I was incredibly confused to hear about because I saw a story tag and was like, oh, I wonder if he's done a set of horrendous rows or I don't know if he's just having some banter. And it turned out that it was a very long message about a lot of things that were quite negative towards me, which I thought was a little bit harsh and stuff. And then the second one about like money, which I thought was very odd. That he deleted after I explained stuff. But basically, long story short, based off the podcast that me and Finn and Jack Eagles, Tom Stockton and Josh did, the Christmas special, I mentioned something about somebody that they didn't really like what I said, which I said to him, I apologise if you took it that way, but I don't apologise for saying it because I didn't think what I said was that bad. And I find it was a bit like, if, I don't know, me and Jack banter each other all the time. It would be like if Jack turned around and was like, oh my God, I can't believe you said that.
Yeah,
And
I think that's what the issue is,
yeah,
though, is that you're
yeah,
probably not actually like
yeah,
obviously, people know it's Danny.
yeah,
It's like if I said something about you, it
mm,
wouldn't be a problem. But
yeah,
if I say something about Danny, I don't know him that well.
yeah,
As
I
much
get
as I
that.
do really like Danny, and whenever I've met him with proper sound,
Yeah,
but there is also like a point where it's like I don't know, like there is a line, isn't there? It's like your boys, and
yeah,
you have your like banter with your boys, and then if
yeah.
you somebody else says it to you, you go, what the
Oh,
fuck?
we've done the exact same before. So like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry if you took it that way, mate. But like, I genuinely didn't mean it for it to come out across that like that. I am not sorry for saying it because I don't think what I said was that bad. And the fact you took it that way made a bit of a mountain out of a molehill. And I think the whole story and stuff, like I spoke to Jack. Jack said that he mentioned it to him. This podcast was fucking weeks ago at this point, and Jack basically told him, "Don't put it on socials. Just message him and speak to him." The fact he went through the social media side of things is a bit strange because it's just like, if you have got an issue, I gave him my number. He didn't call me. I then said to him, "Call me." Once he explained the situation, I was like, "Oh, it's about that. That's a bit weird." And I'd already trained, and I was like, "You know what? I'm past it. Like, I don't lose anything if he thinks I'm a bit of a twat. If he does, sound cool. People don't like each other. That's fine." But I find it was a bit over the top. And then he mentioned stuff about coaching and stuff, and it's like, I don't need to throw your business under. Like, you don't need to do the same about mine. Like, we're both in the positions we are based off the work we put in. I'm really happy with what I do. I wouldn't be as popular as a coach if I was fucking mate. Apparently, I don't get back to clients unless they win overalls. So I mean, I
you're
can
gonna
only get
get
back
back
to
to Amy,
yeah, I can only get back to Amy,
Jacob.
Jacob, and Finley. They're the only 3 clients that I can get back to. So yeah, it was just a bit petty. And like, I know since then, a few of my clients have messaged him. Nothing. I don't think that hostile. I don't want it to be where people pick sides. I think that's really weird. But like, I've had a fair few people message me of them getting very weird responses from him, like quite aggressive and a bit hostile. Which again, I don't really know the ins and outs. I'm not saying he said that because for some reason I feel like a lot of stuff can just be taken out of context. And I also know as well, like Danny was the first one to mention that he's obviously had like mental health issues. Is that playing a role? I don't fucking know. Is it a bit up and down? I don't know. What I said on the podcast was based off the fact that in the past, Danny had been a bit off with me when we both were prepping, and Danny is very up and down. And I think at this time, it might just be where he's a bit up or down, and as a result, he's thought, right, cool, Reese said this fucking weeks ago, didn't reach out to me in person, reached out and put it out on social media, which is just so backwards. It's like fucking high school. Like he this says this. I'm gonna put it on there. I'm gonna write this about on Facebook or on like I don't know BBM. Reese is a dick. You know, like you just get told like you're on the playground like oh this person said this about you and you're like why didn't you just say it to my face like
Yeah,
if
I would just say like it doesn't need to be a thing. Like obviously, if like I say it doesn't need to be a thing, it's nothing to do with me really. But like if Danny's not happy with you, like you don't have to be best mates. It's fine.
that's fine.
Like you know what I mean. It's a
Okay.
shame because I really like Danny and I
Yeah.
thought like you guys were sound and stuff. And if you're not, you're not. And it's sound. If you're not sound, it doesn't really matter. Like not everybody has to be best mates. There's people in the industry that definitely don't like each other that will pretend they do or will deliberately just say, yeah, I don't like that person. And that's okay. Like, not everybody has to be best friends. Like, again, I think you and Danny probably in years to come will be like, fucking hell, yeah. Like, why did we have that bit of a fallout? Like, we're both like sound and we do get on.
Yeah.
But it was just like things got maybe taken slightly out of context or whatever it may be. But
Yeah.
I would like to say, I like Danny and I hope Danny's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's the same. I think Danny is like based off a few. If you don't involve a few odd circumstances, I think Danny's always been like pretty sound. Like it's a shame because like I said to him the way he was acting, I was like, mate, I will see you at PCA shows. I will come up to you and be like, are you okay? Like, you know what I mean? It's one of those sort of things. I'm
Yeah,
not
you
gonna,
don't want it to be like, oh, I'm not going over and talking to Danny when you usually would. Like,
Yeah, and it's strange because obviously after the I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, when we had this last little like fallout, it was literally based off a few things that like Eagle said when we trained, then a few things that he commented on my post, so I just comment back to him, and then he was taking it quite personal, and then when I saw him in person, it was like it was really awkward. I'm like, mate, I thought it was banter. Like we spoke about this, and again, like when you're in the industry, you're gonna bump into people. I will bump into Danny multiple times, and I will go up to him and be like, "You right, mate? Is everything okay?" And as long as we're civil, that's sound. I've not got an issue with him. I've not got a problem. I think people blow like massive things out of proportion. And in reality, some people get on, some people don't. If Danny thinks I'm a twat, cool, sound, fair play, bro. You do you, I do me. And if anything, it's just a bit silly to see drama get that out of line. Because if I knew it was about the podcast, I wouldn't have even messaged him. I'd have been like, mate, what the fuck are you going on about, bro? Didn't mean it in a bad way. Sorry if you took it that way. Sound, jobs are good. But I think the fact it's like, it's just a bit silly. So yeah, bit of a shame, but that's that. That's the ins and outs. There's not really a lot more to it, which is, I think a lot of people, when they kind of like asked or spoke to Jack or Danny or whatever, they all like, I got a lot of messages being like, is that
I
it? And I was
messaged
like,
you, didn't I? And just said,
yeah,
what's provoked that?
yeah,
Like, literally, I think all
yeah.
I put is what's provoked that story from
Hey,
Danny.
I had
'Cause
the
I
same
thought
message.
something else had happened. Like,
I had the same message from Josh Croggan, and I said the podcast. He was like, "What, really?" And I was like, "Yes." So again, like if
I
this,
feel like if Danny had been in on that podcast with us,
yeah, it would have been sound.
yeah, it'd have been completely different because
Yeah,
he'd have then had a dig at you like a joke, and it'd have been like, yeah, yeah,
100%.
like,
But again, like if I've overstepped the boundaries of like maybe thinking that we're closer than what we are, cool, sound. I'll take that. And like I said to him, I am not sorry for saying it, but I'm sorry that you took it that way. Sound cool. Happy days. So yeah, that's that, guys. Now I can stop, mate. I got like 8 DMs from random people, like message
you're
requests.
going to, aren't you? It's
Like,
like
what's
people
the
love
beef with
drama
Danny?
on
And I'm like,
social.
I was
Yeah,
like, what's the beef
people
with
love
Danny?
it.
I don't fucking really know. I just don't really think he's got his like. I don't know, his head screwed on proper. I don't want to be insulting, but I just don't feel like it's coming from a place of like legitimacy. It wouldn't surprise me if in 6 months, again, as you said, like he comes up and he's like, "Fucking hell, man! Like, yeah, I took that out of like thinking you did."
To be fair, he might be like, look, I just don't like you, and
Yeah,
that's it.
that's
And
sound.
that's it. And you go, okay, like,
Yeah,
you know, what I mean, it's like that's okay. Like, you don't have to be best mates with everyone. Like,
no,
obviously, like I said, like you don't want it to be where you're like deliberately falling out with people, like
yeah,
from a business standpoint, but also just from a human standpoint. Like nobody deliberately wants to be like, oh, I don't like him, and I don't like him, and I'm going to fall out with him. Like nobody wants that anyway. But like again, now and again, you just don't vibe with people. Like I had that with people at school, and like you just have to accept I'm
you
probably not going to be their friend, and that's okay.
this is again, I don't want to be adding more fuel to the fire, but like there was a part of the story where he was like, he's done this about like I kind of mentioned about other people, and it's like I'm going to be honest, and this is again me like backing myself because I'll always back myself. I genuinely like you will never find a message to from me in not to somebody behind their back. Or like I won't reply to someone's story or send something to Finn or like I literally if there was like a stats, you know, like you get like your Spotify rap. If there was a stats for Instagram, I literally if I was like message replies, I'm like 97% I don't reply. I don't really message anybody other than my clients, Finn, Sanaya, my mum. Like that's literally it. And I just
Yeah,
stay
I
to
don't think
myself.
it's that like you're definitely not. You're not the type to talk shit. Like we're not. Like, and again, like if we were, we probably wouldn't bring this up, and then off
Yeah,
camera we'd be like, oh my, like we
yeah,
don't really
yeah.
chat shit. But
No,
I think
that's why I found it a bit more
he
confusing.
said it's how you carry yourself, didn't he?
Yeah, but then how's that's not my fault in a way, is it? I can't like
Well, I
control
think he
how
probably just means like how you are, how you act, and you are quite arrogant and you are quite like
yeah.
cocky. But like if you, a lot of people aren't going to like that. You know what I mean? Like that will rub people up the wrong way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
But I don't
that's
find that's a stick that you can beat somebody out and be like, oh, know this. Like I know the amount of times I've had people come up to me and they're like, oh fucking hell, you're exactly how you are on social media, but you're not a dick. Like I'm like, yes, I don't mean to be.
yeah, and I think a lot of it as well. Like a lot of the time when you are being that arrogant side of you on socials, it is with a bit of a
Bit of a joke, yeah.
twang, like a bit of a pinch of salt. Like I'll put things like obviously like the bit about me playing football. Like obviously I'm not actually I wouldn't actually be in the Prem if I'd have carried on.
Yeah,
Like, but I think you do it more so from a bodybuilding standpoint, which is obviously the industry we're in.
yeah,
I'll say I'm shit. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Whereas like you would never go, oh, I'm a shit bodybuilder. But you shouldn't have to. I'm not saying you should. Like that's not a good thing to do. Like you shouldn't be putting yourself down. Like, I'm not saying that. But like most people in this industry
Oh yeah, yeah.
are more so that side. You know what I mean? Where they're like, oh, I'm not good. This isn't good. I'm not good at that. That's not good. Whereas you're probably the other way, where you're like, no, I back myself, and I'm good at this. I'm good at that. And it's quite different
Yeah, to what
in
other
this
people are.
industry. Most people put themselves down. So yeah, but then there's a way of doing it and stuff, and I can see why it does rub people the wrong way at times.
Oh yeah,
Like
I can get that, but it's
especially
never.
if they don't know you. Like
Yeah, oh, 100%. But I do everything that I do because of how I am. Like, I'm not going to change for social media. Like, I've always been very much of the if you like me, you like me. If you don't, you don't. That's cool. Like, I don't lose sleep over it, and it's the reason why I don't really get myself involved in stuff like this, which is crazy to think that, like, there's a few circumstances where it's like again, like this again. I'm sorry. The whole Yemi situation literally came from my fucking training, which is like so crazy when you think about like the way I train, the way that I spend 2 hours of my day 5 times a week in the gym doing that can annoy somebody to the point of like them constantly having like little digs and stuff, which is like mind blowing.
yeah, to be fair, like that you didn't. I don't think you did anything there to like actually
No, it's just training.
aggravate him, did you? Like,
No,
I don't know, but I don't remember you doing.
not really. No, it was there was a few comments that I had back to him, but like the few times that you run into these sort of like drama stories, it's always like it's just a bit sad. And then like again with Danny, one thing he kept saying multiple times was about like how well I've done, and he said to me like you shouldn't be throwing shade on people that like with where you're at, you've made it. And I was like, Jesus
I
Christ.
don't think. Yeah, I think it's probably like I can't remember what it was that you said on the podcast, but I think again, if you don't know you, like it probably looks like you're deliberately like
Yeah, maybe.
being like sly and putting
Yeah.
it. But again, if he was on the podcast, like you'd have said the same thing, and it'd have been like a joke, you know. So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was like, yeah,
We've said it before with the like again like Tom situation, where we were like, mate, we see
yeah.
the person. Like, if you choose to get offended by that, that's like we can't control that. But like, we literally will say this to your face. And if you have an issue, cool, sound like it's fine.
It's like with Christian. Obviously, Christian called us out on it, and then
Yeah.
like whenever like I've seen Christian, like we've joked about it and stuff. Like
Mate, the first time I sat next to Joe Jeffrey, we were at a PCA show. He mentioned about his training, and I was like, "Oh, what, week 4 or 5? You deloading soon?" And he looked at me and went, "Fuck off!" And I just went, "Sound like that's banter." But the
yeah,
problem is,
it's a joke. Like,
like again, and he could take that and go, "That Reese lad's a prick." Sound cool,
probably,
but,
probably did.
but you take that and you just go, "That's how it is." But again, I find it have to be like so. On that social media nowadays, everyone's offended by anything and like not actually inspired by anything as well. It's like you just get offended too fucking easily, and in reality, like it should be positivity that are bringing us up, and instead it's negativity. So yeah, that's that. That's the situation.
We have one more comment.
Well, sure, go for it.
Final thing, right?
Okay.
So back in the day,
Yeah.
I used to get the piss taken out of me for wearing a.
Fuck.
Do you know what I'm gonna say?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
So I used to get the piss taken out of me when me and Reese trained at Warehouse. So this is like before Reese and Sanaya were together, right? So Sanaya used to get basically like Sanaya and her mates at the time used to send like videos of me into their group chat taking the piss that I was wearing a coat in the gym.
Yeah.
So Ella was Sanaya's mate, and I'd say it to Ella in person. Like again, it's not a fucking big deal. It's funny, the other day, because it was so cold in Elevate, Ella had a coat on, and I was going to comment like, "Why are you wearing that?"
The funny thing is, mate, so obviously I got with Sonara at that sort of time. I remember I remember exactly where we were. We were in a student accommodation. I was making my final meal, my wraps, my rice, my chicken. And she was on this group chat laughing. And I just like looked over her shoulder. I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And she was like, "Oh, this group chat. Like, look at this form." And I remember distinctively being like, "What are you doing?" Like, I was like, I was almost like mortified, and I kind of explained it. I was like, "You're wasting time." And she was like, "Yeah, but they don't know." And I'm like, "No, but it's the actual like, process of like laughing at other people. Like, what
Yeah,
are you
it's just not
doing?"
nice, is it?
Yeah,
Like,
and
yeah,
yes,
I've had that like conversation with friends and
yeah,
family and stuff. And it's just like, why are
what?
you wasting your
Yeah,
energy like laughing at
yeah,
people? Like, yeah, it's just. I get it in the sense of like if they're in on the joke,
yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
But, like again, if we were deliberately messaging, going, "Oh, look at this," like
Oh, I
it just
remember.
feels wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
I remember like again just getting down a rabbit hole of like beef. The whole Yemi situation
yeah,
before.
you had a group chat called
Yeah,
"We All Hate Reese."
yeah, like I got a list sent into the group chat where like all the guys like just viewed my story. Like I just like literally randomly refreshed, and I was like, it had like I don't know X amount, and then all of a sudden I gained like 30 views from all the guys in this certain location, and it was like I looked in the group chat, and I'm like, I'm sorry lads, I'm not being horrible here, but like none of you could do that, and like even if you were to, I don't know, I can't even, I think it might have been like a deadlift or a row or something, but like none of you could have done it. Like I said to Yemi when at that Conte meetup, I was doing a 4 plate row, and he was like, drop the weight, and I was like, Yemi, I'll give you $1,000 if you can deadlift that right now. And he was like, ah, no. And he went to show me a video of him doing it. I was like, no, just do it now. Do it right now. No warm up. Just do 4 plates. I'll give you $1,000. And he didn't do it. And I was like, there you go. So again, but if he had done it, I wouldn't have given him a
But
grand.
the thing is, if he hadn't have said anything, you wouldn't have been like that. You know what I mean? So it's like it does get
But
obviously the Danny thing.
then also, I instigated the Danny thing by saying that when I probably shouldn't have. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Like, there's two sides of it. But at the end of the day, people get fucking offended. You can't control how people perceive certain things. In the future, there will be other things that we piss people off by. And if you ever do have an issue, just drop us a message and actually like speak to us. Like if someone
yeah.
say,
We would like we've said we wouldn't deliberately
no,
offend somebody or
no,
deliberately like do it in a way to be like sly or anything like so.
no, that whole fucking thing about Christian back in the day with Tom and like Perrin and Tristan, we were stressed for like 2 or 3 days where we were like, oh fuck, okay, we overstepped the mark. But then when we saw them in person, we said the same shit, and we were like, this is
And it
what we
was
do.
all like joked about.
Yeah,
It was like, oh, sound like it's
exactly.
just that they didn't realise that we were doing it from that kind of place of
Yeah.
like
But
light
again, that's
banter.
how they perceive it. So yeah, that's that. We've dragged this on. There you go, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed the. We can clickbait the title. Beef, Reese beef, Reese.
I'm not doing that.
No, please don't. It's just the end. So yeah, hope everyone's enjoyed. We'll catch you guys Thursday. So probably by the time this is up, we'll probably catch you in a few days after with hopefully a special guest episode where we have zero clue what guest we're going to get on. But we're gonna get a guest on. So yeah, right. Sound like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, put on your story. See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.